Hey everybody, I'm Casey and I am wanting to talk to you a little bit today about letting energy move. When I personally don't let energy move through me, and by energy I mean anything from thoughts and feelings, experiences, any kind of emotion, but also physical energy that's generated by my body just through the process of being alive. When I don't let it run through me in ways that serve me, I get really weird. I notice that I am more anxious and irritable and just not myself, not really me. And that's because energy is like water, it wants to flow. And if we don't let energy of every kind move through us, it gets stuck in different aspects and parts of our body, in different energy centers, different chakras, and that creates imbalances in us. When energy is stagnant, it gets like water. It gets murky and icky, and that's when we can actually wind up creating diseases inside of ourselves, which is basically dis-ease first, where we just don't feel right, and then that can solidify into an imbalance in our physical body. So it's really, really essential for me, I know, and since I'm in a human body and you are too right now, for you as well, to let things flow. And we can offer ourselves some extra permission to let things flow right now in ways that we might not normally allow ourselves to do. So I set my camera up, and I really need a tripod because it was a super awkward exercise of trying to like find something to lean it against without it flopping over. Behind this picture of a tree that my stepmom painted, and I love it because I feel the energy moving in this tree. Now, she's a photographer and an artist in that way. I hadn't done a lot of painting, but this felt alive to me. I could feel the energy moving in the tree. So I loved it. And I said, can I have that? And she looked surprised and gave it to me. And it just reminds me of the energy that we have inherent in us as living beings of light embodied. So I today was just getting home after a meeting, and I was inspired to sing. And I've sung lots in the past. When I was in high school, I was in a choir, and I just today started singing a song that we talked about in the rehearsal. And I started singing "This Little Light of Mine." And I'm not someone who practices singing regularly. I wouldn't think of myself as a singer anymore, maybe when I was in high school or university. But I just let it out and I let myself sing it, and it felt good. And it felt so good because just for some reason my throat chakra needed clearing, and it wasn't through speaking. I didn't feel like there were things that I needed to say. I just wanted to express myself. And it's this kind of desire and impulse that we sometimes squash. And when we squash those, because we're like, oh, I don't have time for that. I don't have the energy for that. Or just we create all kinds of reasons for us not to express ourselves. I'm not very good at that is probably the worst reason. Because A, you get better with practice. And B, I almost said two, A and two, you don't need to be good at something. All you need to do is allow it to flow through you. It doesn't have to be for public consumption. It doesn't have to be anything special. It's just the inherent act of creating and allowing the energy to flow. And if that means busting a dance party out in your kitchen, if that means singing in your car, if that means just writing or creating any kind of art, gardening, whatever it needs to be to flow through you, please give yourself permission this month for any kind of creative self-expression that you are just feeling needs to flow through you. And it just can be anything, and it doesn't need to be perfect. So forgive yourself for believing that it needs to be perfect. It doesn't need to be anything at all. It just needs to be through you and allowed to flow. So we could get stuck in feeling like we need to be better at something like I did. I wouldn't hula hoop in public until I was better at hula hooping, which is ridiculous because it's a children's toy. And now I'm on a mission as a person who teaches hula hooping professionally sometimes to share the joy of just the pure beginner's mind and the creativity that's inherent in this circle, the symbol of infinity. Because you can do anything with it. There are no rules. You don't have to be good at something in order to do it. That's ridiculous. And that held me back from doing a lot of things in my youth. So that's my mission when I'm teaching children, is to give themselves permission to joyfully embody whatever wants to be created through them. And I really want to inspire and invite people to do that for themselves too. It doesn't have to be just something I share with kids. So that's why I was inspired to make this message and sing that song. And it was perfect. Singing about this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, because that's our only job here right now. That song was divinely inspired. And that song, go ahead and sing it after we're done. If you don't know it, then I'm not going to sing the full thing for you, but it's everywhere. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. And it is something my friend is going to have people dance to, children dance choreography to this, because it's such an important message. It's all about letting whatever this essence that is unique to you out and letting it shine. And one of the ways you can do that every day and show up as a shinier version of you is to just let that energy flow. So whatever it is that you are feeling inspired to create or do or allow, let it flow through you today. Let it flow through you every day, of course, but right now I'm just feeling inspired to invite you to take it to the next level and to have some fun with it, to celebrate it. This is what we get to do now. We don't have to be held back by our insecurities, and we don't have to be held back by the thoughts of perfection or that maybe someone can do it better than me. Screw that. No one can be better at anything that you do than you are. So with that, I'm just going to invite you to do something creative today. Please move your body or dance or sing or write or make art. Make up a silly game with your kids. It doesn't matter, but listen to those little voices of inspiration that come through your day. And instead of saying, I'll make time for that later, pick up the hobby that you maybe you still love to do. I used to love to sing in choirs and alone in the shower, and it was so much fun. And I don't know why I stopped, but I'll let you know that I am definitely going to be singing a little more today. And you know what? I even recorded it just for fun to hear what it sounded like, and it was way better than I thought it would be after any preconceived judgments about how good you are at something are probably not as kind as anybody else listening would be able to listen to them with or view things with. But also just remember that a master has failed 1,000 times more than a beginner has even tried. So you got to start somewhere, and allowing this energy to flow will flow into other parts of your day and other parts of your life, into your relationships. Instead of censoring yourself, it's time to be yourself, to let your light shine, and to be in joy as you do that. So please be in joy and creative for the rest of your day. And I hope I get to talk to you again soon, and I'll let you know about some other inspired creativity that I was able to offer myself with compassion and non-judgment, because I sent this message out to the world and to the public. So I am setting that intention that more and more of this will come available for me. And as I do it, the healing will ripple out into the world, because as I heal my heart from these stagnant blocks, it goes out through the ether into all of your hearts. And guess what? When you offer yourself that permission to create and just be and shine your light, that ripples out to everybody else's heart too. So if you're not doing it for you, do it for all the children in the world. Do it for all of the people who might just happen to see you expressing yourself creatively and be inspired as well. So we are shining our lights for the world to see now, and it's time to step up our game. So be in joy in your day, celebrate life, and creatively express who you really are, you divine, shining, truth-seeking star.